Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. We're discussing Alzheimer's disease, and when it comes to finances after an Alzheimer's diagnosis, it may actually be too late to safeguard your family members' financial resources. So joining us now is accountant Andrew Poulos with some tips on how you can protect your family's finances. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get right into it. Can you get a family member's credit reports?
Well, you can assist them to get a credit report, and it's very important because obviously you want to see what's on the credit report. You also can review it and, if necessary, put in a credit freeze, so that way they're protected from either getting credit themselves that they are not aware of, or having obviously scammers out there that might get access to their personal information and apply for credit.
Get credit monitoring services as well?
Yes, absolutely. Credit monitoring services, you'll get alerts as things change. So if something new goes onto the credit report, you get an alert. You can obviously address the issue quickly versus finding out a year or two later when damage has been done.
Now, what is a branding meeting and what do you do there?
Effectively, you want to sit down with your loved ones. It might be an extended family, people close to the loved ones, and sort of have a nice discussion without making them feel inadequate of things that need to be done. How do we address the issue of helping them since they're not able to sort of help themselves? And it's a touchy subject, but one that does need to happen at some point in time to be able to protect themselves and help them, with their money management, their taxes, their finances, things that they're not going to be able to take care of themselves moving forward.
I can definitely see parents saying, we don't need your help, we're doing just fine.
That is the challenge, yes.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And then just to look at, we're getting all these phone calls. Can we add them to a list where they don't get all of these phone calls?
Absolutely. The do not call registry list. Very important, because a lot of the scams that do happen are via telephone. As we get older, and let alone if we have an illness that does not allow us to be cognizant of what's going on, being aware of scams these days, we're more susceptible to be prey to scammers. So by adding our loved ones to the do not call list, we sort of try to protect them and minimize the opportunity for scammers to get in touch with them.
I need to be on that list too. And to talk about, their bills. A lot of times, the forgetfulness, they are busy doing other things. What can we do to make sure their bills are getting paid?
Well, you either have to lay out a plan, and again, it goes back to sitting, having a meeting with family, the ones that are close, the ones that are going to be assisting, or maybe bringing in a financial expert who can come in maybe once a month or however often needed to help them make sure things are getting done. Their bills are being paid. Obviously, we don't want bills going unpaid, such as utilities or mortgage payment or rent, things that are necessary and need to be paid. So it depends on, obviously, the family, the resources, and again, how close loved ones are. Are the loved ones in town and live nearby where they can assist, or are they out of town to where we have to enlist professional help, make sure things are being done?
So that may be something you do out of town, just to get on the phone and make sure their bills are paid. And then what about power of attorneys?
Power of attorney is very important, because obviously if something happens, someone's got to be able to step in and handle the financial situation. So it's always important to have that conversation, not to make them again feel inadequate, but to prepare for that time when someone's going to need to be able to assist. And the power of attorney can be for bank purposes, for bank accounts, financial accounts, if there's brokerage accounts with for mutual funds and that sort of stuff, and it could be obviously for tax purposes. I've got a case right now, for example, where we have an older client, and the husband's been great. The wife basically has kind of been just going downhill a little bit as the years go by, but this year I haven't been able to get a hold of the husband either, and I have no contact information for any loved ones.
Wow.
So we just don't know how to get in touch with them, what to do if they're still alive. So it's very important, obviously, to be that POA, or at least a contact person for the accountant, the bank, institutions that we'll need to be able to reach out to.
Andrew, thank you so much, and be sure to join us for another edition of Public Affairs on Peach. We'll be back next Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m.